It's your favorite YouTube dealer. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. We got an interesting collaboration today. Knox Hill, Ren. It's called Fentanyl, so you know this shit about to be real. I had a feeling that this is who he was talking about, that he was going to collaborate with, because he was kind of hinting at it being somebody special, and they've spent a lot of time together. So I assumed at some point this collaboration was coming. So I'm excited to dive in and see this. Shout out to Knox Hill. That man is doing numbers on YouTube, flying out and seeing and meeting different people and stuff like that. Like, he's really putting the work in. My man's hustling. I respect it. I respect it. So let's get into this. It's called Fentanyl. Let's see what they was talking about.
Conscious rap was vibing, but they said it wasn't selling. So instead of tribe, the question was for highs. I guess I get it. But we sold our de la souls and reassigned the proper metrics. Violent rap survived and Duanes the prophet zealots. Survival of the fittest. Trade your bars for gems and you'll be shining. That's the realest. In this climate of addiction style, Big Pharma is the realest. Now as long as pills are filling, you ain't really gotta feel the sound.
Okay, I already like the way that he's starting this. So first of all, shout out to Nas and stuff. But basically what he's saying is, like, you know, you trade the bars for the gems. And it's funny because I was just talking about this in the T Grizzly and J. Cole video where J. Cole talked about how, you know, he don't wear all that shit and he's still the feature GOAT and all this other stuff. And I said that's just such a real thing, because nowadays it seems as if rappers are almost placed based on how much shit they got around them. The chains, the watches, the women, the cars. And like, that is really what boosts them in front of more people's eyes, and people seem to be attracted to these artists based on that before the actual music and the substance and what they're bringing. As long as they rapping about all these different things and they wearing it and they got it around them, it's like, yo, that's that guy, I look up to him. It's just wild how we've kind of changed, and the most popular rappers now, like, they don't have bars like we would consider it back in the day, whereas it was like, yo, Nas was the storyteller. Jay did talk about hustling and stuff like that, but the way he structured it and the rhyme schemes, and like, there was like certain technical aspects to these artists that made them really, really great. Whereas now, a lot of the rappers that the newer generation considers great are the rappers that are just talking about doing drugs, effing bitches. Like, it's way more that than it used to be in the past. Not to say that that was never talked about, because it definitely was, but it wasn't like at the forefront. It wasn't the most important part of the song or the artist's reputation or any of that stuff. It was just some shit that was like a little bit here and there, and then you got some really dope shit. But now it's like, it's all about that. It's like, if your song ain't something that we could pop pills, get drunk, and party to, and F bit, and we don't want nothing to do with it. That's what it seems like to me, at least. So, you know, I respect that. I feel like he's on he's talking about some real shit.
On the proper metrics, violent rap survived and Duanes the prophet zealots. Survival of the fittest. Trade your bars for gems and you'll be shining. That's the realest. In this climate of addiction style, Big Pharma is the realest. Now as long as pills are filling, you ain't really gotta feel the sound. The world is full of juice, and while you floating, you've been finna drown. How many rappers out here missing out? But
okay, this part is dope. I like how he's got Ren doing like the voiceover in the back. Like, it's I like this. I like this.
Realist now, as long as pills are filling, you ain't really gotta feel the sound. The world is full of juice, and while you floating, you've been finna drown. How many rappers out here missing out? But they sell you with this vision and this fear of missing out. The industry will fuck us, so we follow what is trending. Brag about these hollow tips, but it's all hollow tip dependent. I lace my verse with fentanyl and lean into attention. Toe tags for the mentions, body bags for what they spending. While they bragging, we descended from the ground, we all descendants now.
Sinners don't sleep in this broken town. Trading their souls for some golden brown. Feel the release, come back down. But when I'm coming up, killers on the city streets bagging it up. Crooks and addicts with habits get rushed. We living in vain just to end it all. And I spend it all on the Fentanyl.
My cousin was a pitcher on that curve, he got that scholarship. On campus, he's the man. Throwing heat as he was hot as shit, but then he hurt his arm. Senior years, time to prove it. Started taking painkillers so he could play and keep it moving. Scouts watching, couldn't lose him, so he took more and he kept using. For he knew it, he's abusing. Fastballs and two seams,
See, that's another sad thing, right? Like, there are people that they choose to go into this lifestyle, right? Like, they choose, like, yo, it's cool to pop some pills. It's cool to smoke this or snort that. And they go down this path, which is sad regardless. But it's even more sad when somebody has everything in front of them, their future, they're working towards something, and something as small as an injury. And I say small just because, I mean, I guess it's not small, right? Because if it's going to affect your dream, then obviously it's a big deal. But it's just like something that you would not really think twice about, but then they put them on these pills. They're like, well, yo, just take one of these a day, twice it, 3 times it, whatever it is. And you start popping them and it's like, all right, the pain goes away. I'm able to do what I need to do. but you start to become addicted to that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Or like in this situation, like he said, they couldn't afford to lose him. So he popped more and more pills to relieve the pain so he can get out there and continue to try to perform at the top level so he can make it even further in his career choice, so he could achieve his goals. But little do you realize that you're going down a path of addiction. And that shit is going to eventually start to control you. You're going to start to take it when you don't need it. You're going to start to take more than you need because that tolerance starts to build. Then without it, you start to not feel good. So now you're taking them just to try to alleviate the feeling you have without them. And this cycle it turns into a vicious cycle. And it's crazy.
It's time to prove it. Started taking painkillers so we could play and keep it moving. Scouts watching, couldn't lose him. So he took more and he kept using. For he knew it, he's abusing. Fastballs and two seams. Too clean, but now he's losing weight. Drug test, he failed, so they kicked him off the team. He tried to kick the habit, but he's mad that he had lost his dreams. He's sad, but he got...
See, and now in that situation there, he ended up getting kicked off the team. So now you're going through the depression of losing the goal that you had in front of you. And so it makes it that much harder for you to separate from this drug because the drug gives you a feeling of just not caring, of just relaxation, of, you know what I'm saying? And so now you have another reason to take it. On top of the fact that you probably don't feel good without it, on top of the fact that, yes, it helps with pain and stuff like that, and you just enjoy the high, like you have all these different reasons to continue to take it. And it's that much harder because now when you try to stop taking it, that depression is just going to get worse. That feeling that you already is just going to get worse. It's like I said, it's one of the worst cycles ever. And I feel like there needs to be more things in place to try to help people. Like if you're going to prescribe somebody a pill that has brought people down this certain path, there should be way closer, like, I don't know how I would put it. Like, I mean, the education, I assume, is there to an extent, or it's available to you, but you should almost have to go through classes. You should almost have to attend certain things, and they should check your how you're taking it and what you're doing. Like, there should be way more to it to try to stop us from going down that path because it's not a choice. Like when you start taking those pills and you're taking them for good reasons, you don't go into it thinking, I'm going to become addicted to this. I'm going to take this shit all the time. Ooh, I can't wait. Got me some of these pills. Like you're taking it based on what you were told. And it turns into that without you even realizing it. Like it's scary.
Fastballs and two seams, too clean, but now he's losing weight. Drug test, he failed, so they kicked him off the team. He tried to kick the habit, but he's mad that he had lost his dreams. He's sad, but he got off the lane. But all it takes is one reminder. In his mind, he couldn't help it. He was trying to finally settle. Midnight, he went outside. He was fighting with his devils. One hit, he told himself, it'll help me through this hell. I know I'm sick and I need help, but one hit, man, what the hell? So he lit it, then he took it to the face. But as the story goes, you know that fentanyl is lace.
Sinners don't sleep in this broken town.
I like right on this hook, and I don't mean to keep pausing it, but that becomes the next stage of it. Because nowadays, if you're going to get it from someone that's not a doctor, there's a chance that whatever it is that you're trying to do, they may cut it with a little bit of fentanyl. Because the amount that it takes to alter what it is that you're taking and make it hit that much harder is such a small amount. The only thing is they're not doctors. They're not perfect. So it's like they shouldn't do it at all, but they've done it a few times. They've gotten away with it. People are like, yo, your shit is crazy. I'm coming back for more. Now you've got more people hooked. They don't even realize that they're hooked to the fentanyl side of it, that you're kind of slipping into the things that they're getting. But at some point, if you mess up and you put just a little bit too much, or it's a person that just their body doesn't handle it well, boom, now you've got an OD. Now somebody's dying. And they don't care. The only thing they care about is the fact that they're not going to get money from this person anymore. And so they're just going to try to detach themselves from that situation, hope they don't get caught, and keep doing it with other people. Like it's a lot of shit that goes on in this world that's just actually disgusting.
Trading their souls for some golden brown. Feel the release, come back down. But when I'm coming up, killers on the city streets, buying it up. Crooks and addicts with happy escape roads. We living in vain just to end it all. And I spent it all under Fentanyl.
Took my heart, you took my fucking life. Took my pride, you took my mind. Took who I am and turned to vice. Took my fam, I burned the price. And now I stand on murder time. And all my plans have turned to ice. I burn in fire, build this pyre higher. I'm wired in this dopamine, get higher. Still a broken fiend, supplier of the hopeless dreams. When it's all smoke, the only rope's the one that chokes. Will they remember me? Take all my memories and light them on this fire. Fire for the crooked dealer, he who packaged hate. Fire for that greedy villain, he who had it laced. Fire for my future, that look on my father's face. My mother's still in tears, my cousin, he's too far away. When they told me to get help, and yes, I tried again. But in the end, we're all just veins. And in the end, it came to veins. And in the end, I died in vain. And in the end, I tried to fuck it.
That shit gave me chills at the end. That shit gave me chills at the end. The CDC reports that from 1999 to 2021, opioids, including fentanyl, have caused over 500,000 deaths in the U.S. 500,000. That's crazy. 2023 alone, fentanyl took 74,702 lives. That just lets you know that it's ramping up. It's happening more and more and more. Yeah, this shit is crazy, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure that it's still happening here where I live. I just don't stay as tapped in as I used to. And I'm not like on Facebook, which is more of like a local thing and stuff like that. But for a while, I feel like it was like every other month, every few months, like you were hearing about somebody overdosing. And more than likely, it was because fentanyl was laced in what they were taking. Like there was a big heroin epidemic that was happening here for the longest time. I'm sure people are still doing it. Now it seems like a lot of people are doing meth, which I don't know if they would put fentanyl in meth. I don't know all this stuff. I don't do these drugs, right? But I know with heroin and shit, for sure, people were cutting it with that. And a lot of people have been lost. I lost a friend that I made music with. I actually posted him. He's my very first post on my Instagram feed, which shows some of his past music and just kind of a little like ode to him and stuff like that. And I can think of countless other people. There was a girl that I hung out with in the past. There's been random people that I went to school with, that I was acquaintances with, that I remember going to parties with and hanging out with. Thankfully, I've been lucky that it's not been anybody super close to me, but people that I like close enough. It's like, it's not like this is a big town where I live. So like a lot of people know everybody else is, at least it feels that way. And it was happening way too often. And I'm sure that it still is. And I'm just not as tapped in. Like every once in a while, if I do reload up my Facebook, I feel like I find out another one or two people that I know of have passed away. And it's like, yo, that's like, it's just crazy to think of. Like you don't really think much of it, but this shit be happening a lot. So I can only imagine in some of these major cities, these big places. So rest in peace to everybody that's unfortunately passed away due to shit like this. Condolences to family members and everything out there. Knox, it's just, it happens too often, man. It really does. And hopefully we find some way to get through this, because it just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. And the fact that there was 74,000 out of the 500,000 that have happened from, like, what did it say, 99 or whatever, early 2000s to 2023. But in 2023, it was almost a fifth of the total amount of deaths of the 500,000. So it's getting worse. So something needs to be done. But let me know what you guys think down below. Shout out to Knox for this. These kind of songs are never easy to make. Shout out to Ren for getting on this. I appreciate you guys. I will catch you in the next one, homie.